What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Garage Gang Podcast. My name is Joe. We got Aaron over there on the other side, and we are not in the garage today. So today we're at Thousand Hills Ranch with the creators, owners of, founders of 17Strong, Mr. and Mrs. Steve and Holly Teixeira. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're great. How
Thanks
are you?
for being here.
Doing good,
We
good.
brought in extra flies for
Yeah.
you.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry. In my garage, we're not missing any flies. We have flies all the time.
We had flies a bunch
Okay.
yesterday. But yeah, so we just decided to do this interview. You guys are local, homegrown. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. You guys are like a local foundation, and we're just excited to be interviewing you guys today.
Well, thanks. We're
Thank
excited to
you.
be here.
Yeah.
And just a point of clarification, we didn't start 17 Strong.
No?
It was
No,
Ryan.
Ryan did.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ryan
Okay.
did
This
it.
was his baby from his hospital room.
Yeah.
He picked out the board of directors. He outlined the bylaws. He said everything that we're going to do.
Yep.
And we're just, we're living out his legacy for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is amazing.
And that is like a misconception because a lot of people think that we did this in honor of Ryan, and that's not the case at all. He thought of
Wow.
it all by himself. He, did the logo with him and his girlfriend. So really, it's so cool because we're just living, showing his legacy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
As much as I've been around this,
Right?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that makes it a lot better.
It
I'm not trying to even
No,
say like,
totally.
but
That's
like
what
that
we say,
really,
too. We
that's
said
really
that, too.
cool.
No,
Yeah.
because for someone at 18 years old to have a vision like that, to see a need and to put forth his ideas, not knowing that he wasn't going to be around, but
Yep.
a year and a half longer, it was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That's
For
amazing.
sure.
Yeah. So, are both of you guys from around here on the Central Coast?
I'm 5 generations on the Central Coast,
Uh-huh.
out of the Santa Maria Valley, and then we moved to Pismo back in 2000 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I am not from here. All
Wow.
my skeletons are in Salinas, is where I was born and raised, and didn't move here until I married Steve.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Dang.
I know.
Did you guys have any like interests and hobbies like growing up? Did you play sports?
I did. I played sports. I was a cheerleader. And then I met somebody that was out of my comfort zone, I guess, is I literally didn't know anything about animals. FFA is what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. It's neat, but I never did it. So it was a learning
I was the
process.
ag kid.
Yeah.
Growing up with your family being farmers and stuff, I was the ag kid. So FFA, I wasn't the athlete. My brother was the athlete. And that's the direction I went
Right.
was the leadership, the education side of things, if you will.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny because Mel, it's like opposite. Like I'm the sports, and I would play baseball. I was in band, and Mel's the ag kid.
She's the ag.
And
Let's,
so-
hey, let's be real here. Mel was the better athlete.
She's
too.
an athlete. She's
Come
a
on
very
now.
good athlete.
Here-
Yes,
Come on
she
now.
is.
Mel was
We
a
have a-
stud.
She still plays.
We have an ongoing basketball bet.
Oh.
She's probably going to wipe the floor with me, but I just have to talk a big
You
game
do,
to
absolutely.
make sure,
I can't wait for the day we actually shoot that video
Yeah,
and Mel
right?
and him play. It's gonna be epic.
That's a put up or shut up.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Exactly. There
I
you
know.
go. There you go.
But yeah, so you guys went to high school around. You said you went to high school in Salinas.
I did.
Okay.
I went to North Salinas High. We did not meet until after high school.
right.
So yeah,
Well, how did you guys meet?
we met at. This is kind of
This
strange.
is an in-depth podcast.
Right.
Oh,
right?
we want to know people. We want to get to know your story.
Yeah. Okay, so we met at a wedding. It was Steve's sister's wedding,
Right.
and she married my cousin, but it's a very distant cousin. So, but somebody that I was, my mom babysat him as a kid, so my brother was in the wedding. So I was told I'm coming to Santa Maria for a wedding, and I was like, okay. And then I met Steve. So, yeah.
The rest is
That's
history.
awesome.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. So it was a long distance relationship for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
Can you
rough.
Imagine.
Me and Kayla did that. I moved to Long Beach.
Oh,
And I lived
yes.
in Long Beach for about 2 years, and we did the long distance, and then it was finally like, all right, I got to come home.
Yeah.
But I will say, I when I moved away, I was like, I got to get out of this place.
Yeah.
And then I went over there and lived, and I moved back over here, and I'm like, you know what? This place is pretty awesome. I'm not
You
gonna
appreciate
lie.
it more, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's in the weather. You just
Yes.
can't beat it.
You really can't.
Yeah.
You really can't.
you can't.
It's awesome. That's good.
Okay, so we're gonna do a segment that we like to do whenever we have duos on.
Oh,
So
duos.
we've done this segment with Pryor Baird and Caleb Lee. We've done this segment with another band that we interviewed. Who
Okay.
else have we done this with?
I don't know. We did with someone else too.
I don't remember. But
Okay.
so Aaron dubbed this "So You Think You Know Me," and essentially it's like almost like the Newlywed Game.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So
Should be
we got
interesting.
5 questions we're gonna ask you if you'd like to pass that down.
5
Okay.
questions.
5
This is going to be
questions.
good.
Yeah,
My-
I could be in trouble.
Oh,
here.
actually, you're right.
that's the goal is to get somebody in trouble by the end.
Oh, okay.
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 This?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So-
I'm with you.
The first question. So how it's gonna work? You're gonna answer what you think your spouse would answer.
Oh, what he's going to
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
Okay, not what I'm going to say.
You'd
but
say
what
his
he-
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
gotcha.
All right.
So number 1, we'll go start off easy. We'll go favorite food.
So you're asking me what her favorite food is?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then you, what his favorite food is.
Wow.
Can I generalize it? Yeah,
Yes,
because I think
absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. We both like to eat.
That's
we,
me.
we do
and-
like
Wow.
to eat.
That's me
I'm
and
not
my
gonna
wife.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. I do like to eat
Me and Kayla just went to Vegas, and we planned our entire trip around
the food. So do we.
Whole trip.
So does he.
And it was like, okay, well, we're gonna go this place, and then we're
Yes.
gonna go eat here.
And
then
if
we're
you
gonna
ever
eat
go to
here.
New York, I can eat you through the whole.
No, I'm
New
serious.
York.
That's
Seriously.
the plan.
Seriously.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys got?
Oh,
Meat,
actually,
Mexican
food.
Mexican food is my favorite,
Yeah.
but I just said anything meat, like any.
There you go.
What would you say?
That'll work.
Yes or no?
Yeah, beef stroganoff. I love.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Beef,
It's
so-
beef. I thought steak. Anything.
Yeah,
Anything.
anything.
Absolutely.
Beef stroganoff. You know, I cannot eat beef stroganoff because my mom ruined me
Uh-oh.
growing up. She always made the hamburger helper beef stroganoff.
Oh, that's not
And
nearly as good.
No, it's not nearly as good. But there's still like that kind of the same taste,
The
and it's ruined me.
stigma.
Oh,
when
I'm sorry.
Even when it's older, when I've been
That's
older and
funny.
I've had tried the actual good beef stroganoff, I'm like, I'm good.
I'm good.
I
You
can't do
don't
it.
need
I can't
That's
do it.
funny.
Okay.
Okay.
Who is the other one's celebrity crush?
Oh.
Who is his celebrity
So who
crush?
would be his
Oh,
celebrity
oh,
crush,
oh, oh,
and who would
I
be
know.
hers?
I know.
Joe's is Florida Georgia line.
No. Shut up. I mean, you're close, Carrie.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Oh, come on, Steve.
You know, we don't follow celebrities too much, so
But this guy was my boyfriend, so
this guy was your boyfriend.
I'm totally kidding.
Boy, who? That's a great question. Who is her celebrity?
We don't know each other
crush?
very well.
Well, not like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
because
know,
we don't
right?
this we don't roll that way. I have somebody coming to mind, but it's
Okay.
going to be wrong.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Do you know what yours is?
No, I don't even know what mine is.
I can remind. I say all the time. I have to tell you guys this. I know Steve better than he knows himself. I'm not even joking. I know him better than. Can I tell you? Oh, that would be wrong. That would be wrong.
Well,
Elizabeth Shue.
yeah, well, that's going way
I
back.
know.
That's going
I
way
remember.
back.
What is it?
Cocktail.
Cocktail. Yeah, cocktail. But I wasn't the babysitting one.
Adventures in
seen that.
Babysitting.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're
I
talking
have
about.
no- I
Elizabeth
think
Shue,
that's-
you
I
don't
don't-
know her?
I don't know who Elizabeth
No.
Shue is.
Oh, you got to look her up.
I will
Mine
look
would
her
be Matthew McConaughey.
So Steve wrote
Oh.
Chris Young
Yeah.
and Matthew McConaughey. All right,
I
all
would
right,
totally
all
say,
right.
All right. That's right.
Chris Young's voice, though, I've always told
Yeah.
Kayla if I could pick one voice, it would
Oh.
be. I just love the deep, like,
Yeah.
the block, them doors. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Number 3, we're really digging
Let's see.
deep
If,
Okay,
here.
let's see if I can
we're
get
digging
better.
I think this one, you guys are going to go 2 for 2 with this.
Okay.
The other one's biggest pet peeve.
This is hard.
You know what's funny? This one, he was all right away.
No, because I'm trying to think if it's the right way.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh, this is hard. Pet peeve.
Spelling does not count.
No, you're good.
absolutely not.
I know it's spelled wrong, but
I don't know. I know what I mean, but
yeah. I would say that she doesn't like it when I interrupt her.
Interrupt.
oh, that's a good one. It's a good one. Happens daily, but I'm just kidding. I said, let your yes be yes, like, and your no be no.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
that is a pet peeve of his.
Yeah.
Like
So-
stay, pick a decision and
Make-
stay with it.
make-
yeah,
yeah.
make like
I hate.
Okay.
I don't like wishy-washy.
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense, definitely.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we're doing all right, I guess.
Number 4. Who's the best dancer?
Oh gosh, me for sure.
Well, I know out of us, I'm the best
by
dancer
far,
for sure.
Joe.
Okay.
Not
Really?
even-
And I'm saying my wife.
Because I just said that.
No, because she's got the moves. She was a cheerleader, so she's got the
Oh,
moves.
I got
all,
you.
Okay.
all I can do is country western dance.
Yes,
I
swing
mean,
dance. There you
you
go.
know,
There you go. Yeah, stay right here. Keep
you
it
remember
right
the
here.
movie Hitch? Yeah. No, you live here. This is it. This is
right.
it. You know, I know how to do the shopping cart.
There you go.
You know, and the sprinkler, but yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a side note on that. Mel and I always get compliments. Any wedding that we go to or any Portuguese festa that we
Oh.
go to, there's always some person that was like, oh my gosh, I was watching you guys all night long. You guys are such good
Oh,
dancers.
that's
And
awesome.
Joe can dance.
He
no,
can dance.
yeah,
Oh,
I
he knows
can
like
dance.
every line dance. You could play a song right now. Joe will start line dancing all
Yeah.
across
Really?
the floor.
That's
See, and I can't
impressive.
line dance.
No?
I can swing, I can two-step, but line dancing.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's like Joe's thing.
his
Yeah.
thing.
No, that.
Did you do lessons? I'm curious.
So I went to the grad always like on a country night.
Yeah.
And at first, like, I was kind of really timid and I didn't really kind of come out of my shell. I was like, I'm not good at this. But then, I don't know, something just clicked and I was just like, wow, I can
can
know
do
all
this.
these songs.
Little boot
For
I
scoot
sure.
could
and
definitely,
boogie.
yeah, I could definitely do this.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right,
Skill that will
you're
always
winning
be
right
used.
now.
I'm winning. All right, awesome.
Okay, number 5.
Did you have a hole in your list?
Wow, you fouled it off, man.
So bad. It's all over me right now.
That's so funny.
Good thing we're outside.
Hey,
Yeah,
we're
right?
keeping that in. All right, number 5, last question. Which one of you guys is the better cook?
Oh. Yes, good question.
And this counts as barbecuing too.
Oh,
Barbecuing and cooking.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. And it is
Me.
Steve,
You guys both.
for sure. You want me to tell you a story? Because this is a good story. Whenever I would cook, the kids would go, "Who made dinner?" And I'm like, "I did." They're all, "Oh,
Oh,
That's so sad.
horrible."
That's so
Horrible.
sad.
You know it's bad when your kids don't even like it.
But I will say, like, I had the same deal growing up with my mom.
Oh, okay.
It was like whenever my mom cooked, it was either, I'm not even kidding you, tacos, but like the white people tacos, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
with
yeah,
like
yeah.
the big flour tortillas,
Yeah.
the ground beef,
Oh, yeah.
with the little packet
Taco
that you
pack.
put
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
the packet. Yes, yes, yes.
So it was that, or it was hamburger helper,
Hamburger helper.
with hamburger meat,
Oh, of course.
or it was something else with hamburger meat. So it was just like, Mom,
The staple.
give it up.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, hamburger meat's pretty versatile.
I mean,
It
I, obviously, but
Yeah.
still
Right.
not versatile enough.
Not versatile enough.
That's
At
funny.
least you didn't get tuna surprise.
Oh,
I'm not a huge seafood person.
Oh, okay.
That was like, and I think my dad may give me fish sticks my whole life.
Yeah, I
It
can't.
kind of just
Oh.
ruined me on that too. I know.
My mom
parents-
used to tell me, "Hey, it's mozzarella sticks." I'm like, "No, you can't fool me. Like,
Yes.
I can smell that.
I
That's not
know.
mozzarella sticks."
Yeah, that is not cheese.
No, but my dad grew. I mean, I remember Grandma fixing, tuna on toast or tuna
gosh.
casserole or tuna. There was always tuna. That
Man.
was. But if you think back to that generation, you're
Yeah.
looking at World War II. It
Right,
was
right.
anything in a can
Anything I could.
Yeah.
Solid.
Busted.
that
Yeah.
could last. That's what
For sure.
That's what you ate. That's what you lived on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the fresh food to rely on because all the rations were going to help.
Yeah.
At the war.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's true.
Gosh. Yeah, canned food for sure. All right. Well, I think that was a success.
Yeah,
that was
for
fun.
sure.
Okay. So obviously the main reason we have you guys here is because we want to talk about 17 Strong and the organization, a foundation that your son Ryan started.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I kind of want you guys to tell the story and just kind of talk about Ryan's journey and kind of how this all
Evolved.
into what it is today.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Go for it.
Okay, so Ryan, as 18 years old, he had signed a letter of intent to play college baseball at Colorado Mesa University in November. So November of what year was that?
2014.
So 2015, he was graduating, and in April found a lump. He found it probably about in February, and it was on the inner right leg. We found out it was called Ewing sarcoma. So he did 9 months of intense treatment. So by graduation, actually, a lot of the high school teachers told him, you don't have to come back to school. I'm just going to give you the grade that you have, which was awesome because, just being with, we kind of did the whole COVID thing prior to COVID because it was a little bit of isolation and making sure that he didn't get sick and all that stuff. Well, anyway, when we were in the hospital, because he always had to be admitted when he had his chemo treatments, so it was 2 weeks off, and then he would do 2 intensive days in the hospital, and then he would do 2 weeks off, and then he would have 5 days. Okay, and that lasted for 9 months, okay? So it was crazy. During one of those visits, a social worker came into our room and said, hey, you qualify for Make-A-Wish.
And this was early on, though.
Very early on. And so he was stoked, okay? If you know anything about Ryan, he didn't plan anything in his whole life. He was like fly by the seat of his pants, and he just lived life like to the fullest. So, but for whatever reason, this triggered something in him, and he planned it. And correct me, he literally planned it. He found the best place to go that he wanted to do. He found who he wanted to go with, what time of year he wanted to go with. I was super impressed. He took like 2 weeks to plan this trip.
He found basically the Mike Trout of
That's what he called it.
Of duck hunting.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The guy, and in fact, funny thing is this guy was a professional baseball player. He had worked his way up through the minor leagues and didn't make it to the bigs, but he started a duck club in Missouri. And Ryan found this guy.
Yeah.
And
His name was Tony Vanderveen.
Really?
You ever look him up? Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
And he was just like, that's all he said. This guy's the Mike Trout of duck hunting.
Right.
And that's what he wants to go
Typical, right. Okay, now mind you, Ryan had the best attitude of, it was incredible. He had all these duck calls on this like necklace type thing, and he would go and he would literally, and he would tell the nurses like, I'm going to do this call, and he'd do it, and he's like, and that's when I need you to come in my room. And then this
every
call,
nurse had their
every
own-
nurse had a certain call. I'm not joking. It was hilarious.
You didn't want to be stuck with the goose call, though.
Yeah. But it was so funny because the kid next door would always go, was somebody crying in here? He's like, no, that's just my duck calls for my nurses. Like
That's a trip.
It's a trip. It was a trip. So anyway, all that to say that he planned it in detail. Then Ryan had got the okay that he was going to go in for surgery. So basically what his regimen is that he did chemo, he did surgery, he did more chemo, and then he did radiation. And that's kind of the thing that it followed. So we were in between, and the doctor said, you're ready for surgery. And so right before the surgery, the same social worker came in and said, you don't qualify for Make-A-Wish. No. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the person that told me I was. And she goes, well, you're 18 years old, and basically you have to be diagnosed prior to your 18th birthday. So he was like 4 months, 5 months shy of it.
That is such a ridiculous
right?
rule.
A lot of people don't realize this, that, Make-A-Wish has boundaries. And obviously the staff didn't even know the boundaries. So anyway, all that to tell you that he was basically felt like the rug was pulled out from underneath him. And he was like, really? Like, wow. And you could tell like the frustration and kind of like, what?
The disappointment.
With everything else that's already going on in his life, like that, just give him that.
Right, right. You're thinking, just give him that.
But we understand.
Right.
They
honestly,
have rules. We have rules.
Right.
I mean, we get it.
And 17 Strong wouldn't exist if this didn't happen.
Yeah,
So you have to
true.
think that way. So anyway, he went into surgery, and it was my first experience with anybody being in surgery for a long length of time. So there's somebody in there that's like a gopher, and they come and they call you. They call you and say, oh, we got it all. We're going to close him up. It's going to take an hour. Well, this particular guy says, hey, I need you to come back in an hour because he's going to be in recovery, and you can see him in recovery. So, and it's the typical like recovery room that you would normally think of. The curtains, it's really small. Steve and I can barely fit back there.
Gotcha.
And, you know, and he's hooked up to everything, as you can imagine. Well, I wanted to wake him up, and the nurse was telling me, don't wake him up, like let him wake up by himself. And it was crazy, just absolutely crazy. He literally opened his eyes when he was waking up. He opened his eyes, and his eyes were like super glassy, like, you know, because it was like a 6.5 hour surgery or something.
He'd been
And
out for a while.
He'd been out, yeah.
It was
and
a
his
10-pound tumor.
10 pound, yeah. And it was shaped like a football.
Shaped like a football.
Just what you want to know, right? And so basically, he opened his eyes. He had a raspy throat, and he says, I know what we're going to do. We're going to start a nonprofit, and we're going to send people on victory trips.
That is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Right?
just got
Wait,
chills
like
right now.
like literally right when he woke up, that was
That's
the first thing.
insane.
First thing he said. And I remember thinking, no, I didn't think it. I said it. I go, you need to get better. We're not talking about that. I don't even know where, you know, so I really believe that there was some type of encounter, like something happened while he was under.
Yeah,
And who
there's-
thought of this? Like, it's such a big thing that it was powerful. I mean, really, that's the day that 17 Strong was born.
Yeah.
So,
And a little bit of background is Ryan was quite the athlete. I mean, Holly mentioned that he was on a baseball scholarship, and he had his choice to go play at several D1 schools, and he chose the number one D2 school in the country because his best friend was there and because there was hunting and fishing.
There you go.
And he knew he could go be the
Priorities.
big man on campus and go hunting and fishing and not have to worry about, you know, being stuck on an island in Hawaii, for say.
And if you're good enough, you're going to get noticed no matter where you're
No
playing.
matter- Right.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where you play, and I wish more of these parents realize that and coaches realize that. If you're that good, they will find you.
Absolutely.
I mean, when he was in high school, he was being scouted by 3 professional teams to be drafted, and then the cancer diagnosis came down, and 2 of them walked up to him and said, "You go get better. We'll find you in college." You know, and that's what they're going to do.
How cool
they're
is that?
going to
Yeah.
find you.
Yeah.
You know, but when he was about 10 years old, he came to me and said, "I want a number that means something, and I want that to be my number for all of my playing days." So I Googled it, and I Googled the biblical meaning of numbers, and
mind you, we didn't know that there was meanings of numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just
didn't know.
We just Googled it. So I printed it out. I gave it to him. He looked at it for 10 minutes maybe, brought it back and said, "Number 17." And his mom says, "Well, you don't have to worry about not getting that number because that's not
Nobody's
a
going to want
popular
it.
number."
Nobody's going to want it.
But
Yeah.
17 means victory.
Yep.
So
that's
that's
where
where
victory trips
we get
came.
What a
victory
trip.
trips from.
Trip. It's like a
So-
it's a circle. It literally is a circle.
Right.
Yeah. It's the
So-
crazy. At 10 years old, who cares? Like he just was on a what do you call that?
He's on a different path.
Yeah,
You
but
can just
he
kinda tell.
had his first opportunity as a travel ball player
Yeah.
to pick a number because usually you just go, oh, this one fits, you know,
Yeah,
this
right.
is good. So he had that opportunity to like pick a number, and he's like, pick a number, like I'm going to do something that means something to me. And I thought that's again powerful, like you know that
Right.
he took the time.
I just went and was like, well, junior sales number 55, so I want to be number 55.
Exactly.
You know, that was kind of the way I
That's
thought.
it.
Well,
I
when you're
played.
9 years old, that's what I want to be number 6. That's Steve Garvey.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
exactly.
I mean, that's what you did.
Yeah.
You know,
Not Ryan,
Wish I could have
please.
played like Steve Garvey.
Yeah, don't we all, man?
Yeah.
Gosh.
So crazy.
That's, I mean, to go back on what you said, like as he was waking up, for him to automatically say that,
first thing he
there
said.
must have been something that,
Yeah.
something that's like, you know, a higher,
way bigger than
power.
us,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Way bigger. Yeah. So it's great when people don't know that story because it is so. And he literally from his hospital bed told us things. Like I would be reading a book in the hospital and he'd say, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm reading a book." Like he goes, "We have a nonprofit to run. You're just wasting time." What are you? And I was like, "Seriously?"
Yep.
Like this is crazy. But Steve got right on getting the 501c3, and so we have been a nonprofit since 2016. But then he got re-diagnosed.
Yeah.
So then we weren't able to do anything. So.
So he got re-diagnosed in 2016?
No, he got re-diagnosed in 20. Yeah, it was 2016.
It was 16.
It was
It was-
2016.
It
So
was September.
he
It was-
was cancer. When did he get cancer free? You said it was March of 14 that you got diagnosed?
Well, he left for
April.
college.
Oh, sorry, April.
He left for college that he was able to negotiate with the doctors, got his port pulled out, got everything done to be at the winter semester in
Yep.
Colorado of 2015.
Okay.
So he completed a full semester, came back home, rehabbed, and was due to start his first non-red shirt year
Okay.
that spring. And he had an opportunity to go to Williamsport as a coach on the Challenger baseball program.
Oh, wow.
With the Little League kids. And for those
Special
of you that
needs,
don't
yeah.
know, they're all special needs
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah.
They're all
Okay.
handicapped. So his college baseball team were the coaches for the Grand Junction special needs kids. So they all got to go to Williamsport.
That is so cool.
And it was
So cool.
televised in the whole night,
So
the
cool.
whole 9 yards. But when he got back there, he came down with a cold, and he never got better. I mean, this kid is taking batting practice, taking ground balls, running laps, doing everything with the team. Meanwhile, he doesn't know it, but leukemia is ravaging his body. He just can't.
He just thinks it's a cold or
He
something.
just thinks it's a cold. And so we're at a wedding on a Saturday night, and it was a friend of the family. And he calls, he says, "Dad, I just don't feel good." I said, "Well, go to the school doctor and see." And we were in communication with UCLA nonstop anyway. So anytime, he had the hiccups, they wanted to know about it, you
Yeah.
know. And so I had called UCLA to let their doctor know that he's going in, and they called back and said, well, he needs to get some labs and everything. And immediately they admitted him. They thought it was either mono or leukemia. And so we left the wedding.
Yeah.
We went home, grabbed a change of clothes, and I drove all night to be there with him. And it turns out that with the treatment that he received for the Ewings, there is a window between 1 and 5 years where the treatment that they gave you to kill the first cancer can cause a leukemia in the body. And Ryan's reoccurred within 6 months, which is
So he came back faster than
it came back faster. So we were medevaced from Grand Junction, Colorado, to UCLA within 72 hours. And at that point, with leukemia, he's isolated at the hospital. He got to come home one time. It was right before his bone marrow transplant. And then when he did come home, he broke out with these bumps everywhere. It turns out they didn't get all the leukemia the first time, so he had to start the whole process all over again with more chemotherapy. And then we did 3 bone marrow drives and didn't find a match for him anywhere in the country. But we know of 3 other people that matches were found by the bone marrow drives that went on for Ryan. So
That's
we're
awesome.
excited about that.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
So then they start looking at family because they can't find a match in the database. So they start looking at family, and they look at mom, they look at dad, they look at siblings and cousins and all that kind of stuff. And it really becomes really small margins, small percentages that you're going to
People
find
have
a
6
match.
kids and they may not even have a match.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
You would think it's the
Crazy.
same DNA, but
Right.
it's-
It doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't
So
make-
they
yeah.
literally told us it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But Ryan and his brother Aaron knew that they were each other's match, and the doctors told them, that's
Not gonna happen.
The percentage of that happening, even though you have the same biological mom and dad, is so rare that it's just not going to happen. And
Yeah.
they both said, okay, whatever, go ahead and test us. So while they're testing everybody else, his test came back, and not only was it a match, it was a 100% match.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Okay, so
insane.
that was a God thing.
Yeah,
right there,
totally.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That just
100%
doesn't
match.
happen.
So then Aaron left high school his senior year to begin the process of bone marrow harvesting, which is a series of injections where they get your bone marrow. It can be very exhausting and painful because your bone marrow is working overtime to produce
create more, correct?
more and more and more.
Right.
Okay.
So Aaron was down in the hospital, so one of us would be with Aaron and one would be with Ryan. And but Aaron was a trooper, and he harvested more than enough,
Right.
way more than enough. And so we went through, and we got to Ryan's birthday. They call it your birthday because it's the day that you get cleaned out. So the chemotherapy basically is what it's doing is it's killing all of your bone marrow.
Yeah.
And it's killing everything on the inside, so there's no more leukemia. And then they're giving you the replacement bone marrow to graft into your body.
Okay.
So then you have to take medication to prevent graft versus host disease.
Which is
which is a
balancing
whole
act.
nother balancing act and level. And then you have to watch the liver, because the liver in our body is the giant filter. It processes everything that goes through our body. Well, we were due to come home that week because Ryan had done so well. And that night, his liver numbers started elevating and he started getting extremely sick. And next thing we know, we're in ICU. He's fighting for his life. We get a phone call from Aaron, who's here at home, and our house caught fire while Ryan went into ICU.
It was the same day.
And it was
you
all the same day.
serious?
Yeah. So it was, I mean, it was like the story of Job in the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean,
You were
it was a
living
lot
a
going
nightmare.
on. So after, that's something separate to deal with on the house side, but Aaron was safe. The dogs were safe. And fortunately, we had family at home that could deal with that while we were dealing with Ryan.
But it added a whole nother element too, because now Aaron doesn't have a house to go home to.
Yeah.
So he
Or
lived at the
nor-
hospital
nor
with
do
us.
we- nor do we.
Nor do we.
Yeah.
And we don't
You
have
know?
anything. So people are packing our stuff up in boxes.
Was it like a burn down situation?
It was
or-
everything but the roof. But
Oh, are you
it was
serious?
insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
They salvaged a lot of stuff, but it was all smoke and water damage. So all your clothes
Yeah.
had to go to the cleaners to be cleaned. And then they came back and you're like, why am I itching? What is
Yeah,
this?
it's
Because it's the
disgusting
chemicals they
feeling.
use to
Right.
to treat your clothes. So then you're rewashing all your clothes. And then, you're trying to salvage pictures. And, anybody that's been through a fire like that understands what I'm saying. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, you're thankful that you have it, but also at that point, it's stuff. It's things.
Right,
It doesn't
right.
matter.
And we literally came home. Well, Ryan was in ICU for 45 days. We came home with a bag, like a duffel bag. We had
Right.
nothing.
That was
nothing.
that was our stuff.
We had nothing. Aaron got to at least grab stuff.
while it was happening, kind of.
Yeah, and he
Right.
had the day, to be able to, or the evening to be able to grab whatever he needed. But we had nothing. And for 6 months we didn't have things. Like it was the most helpless feeling that you could have. Like it was, yeah. It's you
And
can't
while
describe
that's
it.
happening, did you guys not tell Ryan type thing? Or you guys
Ryan
Ryan wasn't even.
He was in ICU, and he had what they call ICU delirium.
Okay.
Which, when people that have been in the
they're
hospital for so long, they just they lose their mind, if you will.
I got you.
I don't know that that's really what it was.
Yeah.
We have different opinions about that, but
Now that we look back,
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
Gotcha.
some
But
some
I
interesting.
mean, we
things.
communicated
He
with
was-
him, and he wasn't intubated or anything. So, but he was in so much pain trying to fight towards the end, and it was in the end it just came down to that his liver couldn't handle anymore, and that they weren't able to keep to activate the bone marrow to keep something else from happening. So, the good Lord called him home, unfortunately for us. Within 6 months of his passing, we sent our first 3 people on victory trips.
in 2017,
Really?
which was crazy in itself. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy in itself.
So after that happened, did it kind of just go, this is what we're doing.
This is
kind
it.
of, this
All-
is,
all-
Well,
yeah.
that was one of the conversations he
We're
had
all
with us. Is he says, "I'm going to need some help."
yeah.
I mean, at one point he said, "I think I'm going to die," and we're like, "No, you have to fight." But I mean, I was a paramedic for years, and people that are going to die know that they're going to die.
Yeah.
There's something that your body goes through, and you know, and he knew that it was so much of a fight, and cancer patients especially, it is so hard on their bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, they are putting toxins in your body to kill cancer.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's
crazy.
just
But
And that's not something that he would just say. If
No,
in that
especially Ryan.
in that situation, you kind of have to know something
Yeah.
isn't right.
Yeah, especially Ryan, because he loved life. He lived life to the fullest, like
Yeah.
Holly said early on. I mean, this kid was, he'd wake up. What are we going to do today? Come on, let's go.
yeah. So, but that's what's so important about 17 Strong is that our cancer survivors. So it's a celebration that, first of all, that you beat it. Second of all, that you get to go on a trip of your choice, So he knew so much more than we did at that, we didn't understand like there was a need for this.
Right.
Do you understand in this age category? So we pick up where Make-A-Wish leaves off because
And we love Make-A-Wish.
Yeah,
we love what
absolutely.
they do. We don't, the age thing and all that, and the disappointment of they wouldn't have let him go on a duck hunting trip anyway because they don't allow that kind of thing,
Right.
which is disappointing. But that's one thing that Ryan set forth with 17 Strong is it's your trip.
You
Yeah.
do what you
If
want.
you want to go hang
Absolutely.
gliding
Yeah.
and your doctor says you can go hang gliding,
You go.
Go hang gliding.
That's
Yeah.
right.
If you want to jump out of a plane at 15,000 feet,
You
go
do
jump.
that.
This is
Absolutely.
your victory trip.
Yeah.
You've deserved it.
That's
You're the
right.
ones,
Absolutely.
and that's what sets us apart is we don't want to tell you that, oh, I'm sorry, you're only going river rafting, or you're only going to go lay on a beach, or you're only going to go do this. If we can send you on a trip to go do something,
What do
go
you wanna
it.
do?
What
That's
do you
right.
wanna
Choice is yours.
Swim with the dolphins.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It
What,
is cool.
what was the first victory trip?
Alaska
Really?
cruise. Wasn't that
Well,
the first
we
one?
had Alaska, then we had
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, and the hurricane was going through St. Lucia.
Yeah.
They got
And then we
stranded
had-
in New York. It was a
It was
and
and
then
we had
Japan.
Japan. Those were our first
Wow.
three. And
Really?
I can't remember who went first, but I do know that our birthday's in October. So because that was our first victory trip that went, it was in October, and then the other one went in November. I think both of them went in November.
Yeah, I think it was Alaska was the first one.
Maybe, yeah. And it was so interesting too because, you can't make this stuff up because our first three victory trips, so his name was Ryan, right? Ryan Macarith. I'm like, that's not weird. The second one, her name is Melissa. She's married to Ryan. I go, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So the third one, his name is Jimmy Aldridge, and Steve knew his dad and his grandfather. He was a
And his
local
uncle.
Santa Maria kid. Like we
Wow.
were like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
This is so crazy. So yeah, and we just treat them like family. So any new victory trip recipient we have, we pride ourselves on every birthday's a gift, every Christmas, like we love them. So we just say thank you for being part of our 17 Strong family. So
Well, and people don't realize, they don't talk about it that I'm going to use the word epidemic, but cancer, in my opinion, is an epidemic in this young adult age group
Yeah.
that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
It is affecting young adults from 18 to 40 in ways that you cannot imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Breast cancer,
Yeah.
colon cancer, testicular cancer are through the roof in these kids.
yeah.
Lymphomas. And what's happening is they're in the middle of starting their college life, or they're in the middle of starting a family, or whatever they are in life. And all of a sudden the brakes get thrown on and they have to go, I have what? Cancer?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm 24 years old. I'm in the prime of my life. How can I have cancer?
I thought that was for older people.
That's
type
right.
deal.
And everybody
Yeah.
thinks cancer's for kids or old people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They forget about this window in the middle. And it is affecting young adults so hard because not only do they have college debt, but now they have
Yep.
medical debt.
And that's
Digging a hole.
and that is my biggest problem
Yeah.
with the cancer. I don't know what big pharma is of how much it depletes people's livelihoods.
Oh, totally.
On top
Totally.
of your health is going down. Now you have to drain
Now you're in
savings.
debt.
You have to just give
Oh, yeah.
everything to do it. It's like
Some of Ryan's medications, okay, was over $10,000 a
No
dose.
way.
Okay,
10,000
one dose?
for one dose,
And you
twice
get
a day.
Twice a day. Yeah.
are you sure?
Oh my gosh, isn't that
God.
insane?
That's insane.
It's like robbery.
That's sickening.
It's sickening.
Okay.
That's
it's sickening.
sickening.
And you're going to put a price tag on somebody's life? Like,
And
no.
you have to
And-
go to the insurance company to get them to approve
Yeah,
yeah.
that they'll do it. Okay,
It's
and
so
then I'm
backwards.
responsible for what they won't pay.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
and they know. I mean, they got you by the balls.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay it.
That's right.
I had
Do you want to
so-
live?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
you're gonna pay.
I
this.
had so many heated conversations with insurance companies. It's
I
like,
can only
who,
imagine.
who made you God?
Yeah.
What are you gonna? How can you sit there and tell me that you're not gonna pay for this medication when the doctors who are treating him say he needs this medication, but you're saying no, he doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who made
are
you God?
Yeah, who are you?
You know.
insurance companies, you know?
Gosh.
It's crazy.
It's so ridiculous.
So I actually have a Ryan story that
I
I have
cannot wait to
not
hear.
really told a lot of people. Only a few people know this. So we were talking earlier.
Does Mel know?
I think I kind of like gave her like a broad
Okay.
perspective of it. So we were talking earlier before the podcast started about when I moved here.
Yes.
So a big reason why I moved here was when I was still in Tulare, I was calling high schools around here. And I had coached baseball for 1 year at my old high school. And I had talked to Coach Latchman at AG. And I was not necessarily wanting to move just to coach over here. I figured, okay, well, at that time I was working at Chili's. I could transfer to work at Chili's, get a job with the school district, and kind of get my feet rolling. So I called Latchman. He goes, okay, give me 3 like sources, and I'll give you a call back. He calls me back within the half hour and goes, the job's yours if you want it to coach freshman baseball. And I'm like, huh? Like, 19-year-old kid, like, has a chance to move from the Central Valley over here on a great opportunity.
Who's this dairy farmer?
Yeah.
Who's this Portuguese, man? You
Yeah.
know, so I was just like, I was just, you know, I didn't tell my parents yet. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, like, this is a great opportunity.
Sure.
And so my girlfriend at the time was living with us, and she was like, let's do it. I said, you know, you're right. Like, if something, for whatever reason, things don't work out, we can move back home. So ended up moving over here, started coaching. Actually, my first week in here, I got to meet Robin Ventura, you know, the Latchman, the whole like crew was there. And this was when Robin was coaching for the White Sox. So fast forward, baseball starts. And I have this kid, first kid to say hi to me, Ryan Teixeira. Hey, what's up, Coach? How are you? I'm Ryan. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? I'm Coach Medeiros. Nice to meet you. And so just running practice, doing all this stuff. And I mean, I was flabbergasted at how awesome Ryan was. Just good attitude, great leader for the team. I already knew that this kid was going to be special. And I was so excited. I called my dad right after practice. I said, hey, I got this kid. He's probably going to be my starting shortstop, my number 3 hitter, best baseball player I've ever seen at that freshman high school level. And I go, and he's Portuguese. His last name's Teixeira. Like, you got to love that, right?
They all stick
You
together.
always
yeah.
say it right. Though.
Yeah.
It's Teixeira.
Yeah, oh, Teixeira. Shigaki.
That's so funny.
Don't get him started on the Portuguese.
So,
Funny.
I mean, I was just so awesome. Just seeing him hit, and just amazing.
He didn't last too long on that squad.
No. Right after the second practice, the Mosley brothers come up to me. Hey, Coach, we're going to take Teixeira. I was like, are you serious?
Oh, my
I was just so
That's the rough
frustrated.
part about being a freshman coach.
Yeah.
They
So
take all the
true.
good players.
Because I think that particular year, the varsity had just graduated their shortstop, and so they were looking for a shortstop. So they brought up the JV shortstop, and then so Ryan went to JV.
But
So-
then he only lasted a couple games on JV
Yeah.
and was up at
Was up
varsity.
on varsity. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, he was going to end up on varsity anyways.
Yeah.
And I kind of had figured that. I was like, okay, like, I'm not going to say anything to anybody. Like, anybody asked me about him. Nah, you know
We're all
what?
like,
I
nope,
think
I
he
don't,
needs,
I don't say anything.
yeah, I think he needs a little bit more work at the freshman level.
Oh, that's funny. I love
But,
it. That's
you know, fast forward to when Melanie and I started dating, and like I didn't know, you know, like that they were cousins, and she told me that, and I was just like, wow, that's
crazy.
an insane story.
Yeah.
So.
I never got to meet Ryan, but I've just heard nothing but great things about him. So
Yeah. He
I'm
was
sorry
one of a
you missed
kind.
out.
Yeah.
'cause
he
he
was
was
one of a
one
Oh,
of
me
a kind.
too.
Did Kayla met him?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think Kayla
so.
had met him.
I
yeah.
think because I was the cheer coach, and
Yes,
they
so
were
she
little.
so she remembers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you being the cheer
So
coach
that
for sure.
was,
Yeah.
um,
I actually have a picture of you.
Yeah.
Kayla has a picture of the team picture.
Oh, how fun.
You're in there in your little
Little
cheerleading jacket.
Yeah.
Ready?
absolutely.
Okay.
You really like that, huh? What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I thought was really cool was seeing Ryan's name at the World Series.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to ask you, what did that moment mean to you, and kind of explain the relationship with JT, Justin Turner.
Oh, I'll let you do that.
That was an incredible opportunity. I mean, we had no idea that was even going to happen. I mean,
We didn't.
It
Oh,
was,
so he didn't mention that to
No,
you
no,
before?
no,
Oh no,
Uh-uh.
no, we didn't.
Oh, wow.
We didn't.
No, we had so at UCLA where Ryan got all of his treatment. They have a program called Child Life, and all of the hospitals have a version of this, and it's basically a support system for the kids. So if you're in the hospital at Christmas, they bring you gifts, or at Thanksgiving, they make sure you have food. You know, it's part of their internal support system, and they knew Ryan was a Dodger fan because, I mean, it was always on in the room. He had a Dodger blanket on his bed, and that's all. Yeah,
And because only smart people are Dodger fans.
Central Valley must be Giants. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know these dairy farmers. She had pulled me out of the room just before Christmas, and she goes,
Oh, wait, you need to go back further. Because Robin Ventura had made a phone call and said,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
you got to
he
go back
did.
further.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So Robin Ventura had made a phone call to Dave Roberts and said, hey, this kid just got diagnosed again. Is there any way you can do a video? So Ryan got a video from, it was for JT,
Dave Roberts,
Roberts, and who else?
and Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh,
so
wow.
he had it
Okay.
on his phone.
Right.
But like Ryan would do, Ryan did one back as a thank you and sent it to Robin. So Robin gave it to all the other,
Right.
all of them. So that was and also he got a text message from Mike Trout. And Mike
Really?
Trout,
Yeah.
Mike Trout's like, hey, do you need anything? He's like, yeah, some bone marrow. Like, I want some Mike Trout bone marrow.
Right?
So,
I don't care if you're a match or not. Just
Right,
give it
just
to me.
give it to me.
And then he got a voicemail from,
He
what
meant,
was it? Was it Carl?
no, remember the
Was it-
Yelich
Christian
kid.
Yelich.
Well, Christian Yelich came by.
Steve
gave
thought
him
he
a
was a
bat.
pitcher.
Yeah.
Embarrassed Ryan. So Ryan was like,
I'm
what?
like,
He's not a
okay,
pitcher."
sorry, I've been in the hospital. I'm not caught up on,
Well, he doesn't really look like a
He
physical
doesn't.
stature.
He
Yeah.
doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
he's just
Outfielder.
he's built like a pitcher, tall, skinny
It
kid.
was
Yeah.
funny.
You know, but
That
he
was
got
funny.
another phone call from somebody else. I can't remember who
Anyway,
it was.
go ahead now about
And
the
then
Christmas part.
John Savage, the head coach at UCLA, also a former professional baseball player, befriended Ryan and came several times to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he's still in contact with us to this day. Wow. But going back to the hospital, the child life gal pulled us out and she goes, do you know a Justin Turner? I'm like, yeah. Why? She goes, well, we're expecting him. He's bringing gifts. And do you think Ryan wants to meet him? I'm like, hello.
Is a black bear black?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I pulled Holly out. I pulled Nicole out. We kind of talked about what was going on. And I waited for him outside, introduced myself, introduced him to his manager at the time and his wife. And he came down, and it was like an instant connection between Ryan and JT.
Well, you had said to him, you sent a video to Ryan, and he's like, no way, Ryan's here? Because he thought that he was in the White Sox there at Chicago, right?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
because-
like, I
because
didn't
it was
know."
from Robin?
Right.
Right.
I
He
got
goes,
you.
I didn't know Ryan was here. And so that made him excited.
Right.
So we have it all on video when he came in, and I mean, they were like,
They hit it off.
Best friends.
But
Like,
it's something that
it's
you
so
see with
funny.
any professional
Yeah.
athlete or somebody that's aspiring to be that they know the lingo. They've got the jive. I
Yeah.
mean, it's no different with a Cal Poly football player talking to, Owen Rice. I mean, they know the lingo. They've got the jive, you know? And that's how Ryan and JT hit it off. And, I mean, they spent more time with Ryan than I think anybody else on the floor.
Really?
And, they exchanged phone numbers and the whole 9 yards. And they would, JT would check in with him and things like that. And then Holly and I had no communication with him because, I mean, it's
It's Ryan's thing.
Yeah.
it's Ryan's
for sure.
thing. But I look at all professional athletes this way. And it's the same way as I look at Hollywood people or musicians. Those people are doing their job. That's what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
They're ordinary people
Yeah.
who make a whole lot of money.
Yes.
But do what they love to do. So whether they're tackling people or hitting golf balls or whatever that is, that's what they like to do. And So I'm not one that typically gets starstruck.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I'm walking down the street or driving in a car and I look over and it's like, oh, there's, you know, Britney Spears. It's like, hi, how you doing? Or,
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
but I'm not
Yeah.
going to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, like so many people are.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Start crying.
And he was a great guy, like super
Right.
personal.
And so it was never even on our radar to say, can I get your phone number? Can I do this? Can I do that?
Right.
And Ryan's fighting for his life in ICU, and I get a text, and it's JT. And he goes, this is Justin, and we heard what's going on. You know, thoughts and prayers are with you. Keep me posted. And I'm like, wow. So
Yeah.
I think Robin had filled him because Robin was a very close friend of the family, still
Yeah.
is. And I think Robin had told him.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, after Ryan had passed away, JT rallied the team and sent a jersey with everybody's signature on it that said 17Strong on the back.
It was
and
really cool.
Really cool. And
We had no house, remember? So
Right.
Yeah, that was a real pick me
right?
up.
Yeah. It was like,
So,
oh, great. What are
but
we
the
gonna do?
thing-
Nowhere to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
The sign in the World Series, we had
Had no idea.
Had no
No
idea.
idea.
So
that
did
was
you
coming.
guys see that as it was happening type thing?
No,
No,
our
we-
phone blew up.
Yeah.
Really?
Our phone
Yeah.
blew up. Of course, we did have it.
We had it recorded.
We had it recorded.
But you
But-
just
We
weren't
didn't-
But
watching
you
at
have
the
to
time and-
understand
yeah.
that
Yeah.
it took years for us to be able to go back and watch a baseball game
oh yeah, it was a lot.
I understand.
because baseball was Ryan's passion.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I miss that more than anything is being able to watch him play
Yeah.
and to know that okay, this year he'd be 25. Where would he be
Where
drafted
would
to
you be
play?
playing? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think about all those life things that we missed out on.
Yeah.
And we're not the only one. Anyone that loses someone before their time
Yeah.
misses those life moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, they always tell you that it gets easier with time. It does not get easier with
No.
time. The numbness carries you, but there's things that you miss out on that you will never get for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You miss the grandkids. You
Yeah.
miss the wedding. You miss the weddings that he'd be in. You miss his friends getting married where he'd be part of it.
Right.
There's things that you always miss.
And it hits you when you
And
kinda-
it hits
It's
you.
so
And it hits you.
bad,
And
yeah.
I don't care if your kid was 10 years old because at the 10-year anniversary of that child's death, they'd be 20. And you
Yeah.
think about what would they be doing right now?
Yeah.
You know? So it doesn't matter. Yes, you get numb, but you learn how to live life.
Yeah.
But the pain is always there. You know, you just learn how to deal with the pain. It's no different. And my mom summed it up best is it's like being an amputee and learning how to live without that limb.
Yeah.
So you have these
That's the best
people
analogy.
in Afghanistan or wherever they're coming back from that they lost an arm or they lost a leg. They're still alive. They're so thankful, but they have to learn how to live without that limb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
And-
it's gone every day.
And
That's
you know it's gone every day.
Every day.
And the pain's still there because it hurts.
Yeah.
Where they had to amputate it, that hurts. And so you have a constant reminder of that.
Yeah.
But you still live and you still move on. But you know that my arm is missing.
And we also have, we have Ryan's legacy to live on through 17 Strong, which
Yeah.
is huge to us now that I look at it because we deal with cancer on a regular basis, which is unfortunate. I
Right.
don't love that. But what I do love is being able to celebrate and being able to send them somewhere to be able to close that cancer journey of their life. So there's so much to be celebrated, in that. And I'm so thankful for that because if that wasn't part of the element, I think you could have just locked me up because I would be a basket case.
I think the coolest part about this whole situation, and obviously it's nothing's great about it,
No.
but the fact that you are kind of getting to live through Ryan.
Yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
this was
So
his baby.
true.
This
So true.
everything you do, Ryan has a part of it. So it's kind of
Absolutely.
like
His
You know,
legacy
it
lives
is.
on.
I think that's a
through
pretty-
17
It's so
Strong.
true.
because some people
So
will
true.
lose someone and it's just kind of that's it.
But see, people make a choice, and we had this happen early on. We got some hate mail and some
Oh,
awful,
Wait,
awful
seriously?
things. Oh yeah,
Horrible.
horrible things. And it was right
Horrible.
after that JT thing at the All Stars, and because
Yeah.
he did the World Series and then he did the thing at the All Star game, and it was so hurtful and so wrong. And we were seeing a therapist at the time, and they said, you need to report this because there's threats in this, so they need to be reported.
I thought our Aaron was going to go because he left the house, and we thought he was going to go like
find this person.
find this guy. I was like, oh no.
That person needs to be found. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I know.
In
but
all
I'm like,
honesty.
we have a
But
lot
I
going
know-
on
I
in
know
our-
what you mean, yeah.
in our life.
The crux of it is that this person had lost their niece or their sister or whatever at the age of 5.
Yeah.
And nobody cared when she died. And I thought to myself, how
that what this is about?
wrong is that?
Yeah,
Okay? For starters, I'm sure a lot of people cared when she died.
absolutely.
But
Right.
you have chosen to wallow in your grief instead of the old adage of taking the lemons and making lemonade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we're given a choice. And we could wallow in our sadness. And
I'm sure there's
There's
days you
days
do.
I do.
yeah,
Yeah, days I do,
especially
for sure.
birthdays and the anniversary of his death, that we don't want to get out of bed those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
But it's a choice. It's
Yeah.
a choice to live.
Yeah.
And what would Ryan want? What would that person's 5-year-old niece want? Would they want him sitting on the couch drinking beer and eating potato chips all day long?
Well,
no.
and harassing other people
I know.
that have lost someone. Like, how horrible.
Absolutely.
Like, how
I
horrible is that?
And that doesn't mean that you go out and everybody starts a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but find a way to harness your grief and give it to an
Yeah.
organization that can help make somebody's life better.
Absolutely.
Right. And it is
In
making a difference.
Their child's name or
Yeah.
in their loved one's name. We all lose somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
It's not the way it was intended for us to lose our children or, to lose people before their time.
Right.
But it happens. So you have to learn how to live beyond that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. For
and
sure.
how to not get past it, but like you
Yeah.
said,
You'll-
I guess just move on. Kind
You'll never get past it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always there, but you have to learn how to harness that grief for better.
Absolutely.
Because you can make a difference.
Yeah.
Turn that negative energy into positive energy.
sure.
For
Exactly.
other people that need it.
And
Yeah.
Ryan, you can use his story to help other people.
Right.
And we do
Or
all the
give,
time.
give, give hope to people.
That's
right.
That's
That's exactly right. And he always lived by the motto of attitude is everything. And so we had it in our house, early on. And so he would tell me that. So I just have to remind myself of that a
Yeah.
lot. Like attitude is everything. It makes a difference,
Man. okay. We only got a couple more questions.
Okay.
I just kind of want to know the future of 17 Strong. Is it? I mean, obviously, just kind of keep doing.
Well, the
Status quo?
future is Ryan wanted it as big as Make a Wish.
Mm-hmm.
So we were
He said
motivated
that
to
from
get
his
there.
hospital
He said
bed.
that there is no reason that we are not in. We're not. How did he say it? We're an
We're-
extension of Make a Wish.
Right, we're not in
in
competition.
competition with them.
Right.
And I thought that. I mean, he never thought in the box ever. It was huge. He just had this big big thought process. And so that's what our goal is to be a household name, to be Make-A-Wish,
That's awesome.
Yeah, just different age
And we
categories.
have sent people from all over the United
Oh,
States.
my gosh.
We've sent people from the Carolinas. We've
Uh-huh.
sent them from Virginia, Pennsylvania. Has Alaska
Chicago.
gone yet?
No, Alaska
mean,
hasn't gone.
But every
We've sent people.
corner,
How cool is
Texas, and
Oh my
word's
gosh, so
getting
many.
out
Your
there.
reach is just all throughout
Yeah.
the
It is.
states.
But
It
but
really
it
is.
takes money.
Yeah.
We don't have an office. We run everything out of our home because we want the money that is donated to us to go where we say
Yeah.
it's
To
going.
need- to where it needed.
We're not paying $10,000 a month for a high-rise building in some city someplace.
That's
And,
awesome, though.
Yeah,
we
think so.
we put back the money that is donated to us into what we say we're going to do.
That's amazing.
And this is the first time that we have actually hired our first employee.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've gotten big enough that we've been able to hire our first.
Hopefully you
Isn't that
hire.
exciting?
Hopefully you hire some more, and this thing really
I
starts taking
know.
off.
That's the idea. For
How
sure.
cool is that?
Yeah.
We're excited.
So
Okay. Well,
So
that is amazing. 17 Strong. I absolutely love it. Go ahead.
I just want to throw some shade real quick because I know you three are Dodger fans. and
Yes.
I'm a Giants fan, and I just gotta say we're in first place right now. I
Oh,
just
I
One
know.
game.
Gosh.
One game.
but I just want to, for the record,
One game.
And
It's
let's
recorded.
see,
It's recorded.
Correct
20
me if
games
I'm
left or
wrong,
something?
but isn't it been the last 8 years in a row that we've been in the postseason?
Yes.
Hey,
Absolutely.
wait, who
I
won the
don't
World
know.
Series last year?
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Who's the reigning World Series champions?
Yeah. I mean,
Right, my guy.
Bruce Stargratterall.
That's funny.
I did that to Jeff McNeil. He didn't like it.
I think there's more pennants on our side than there is on the orange side.
Definitely.
Okay.
But that's all right.
All right.
That's
All right.
all right.
Oh, wait.
That's funny.
All right. One thing we like to do with people is ask them, what's your favorite local eatery, favorite food spot? You guys got one around here?
Blast 825 in
That is
Orchid.
a good
Dude, I
one.
love that place.
And
I
the
got.
other one's coming to a Rio Grande.
And okay, is it the same as the one that's going here in Pismo? Is that an extension of
No,
it?
Pismo is. I don't know what they're doing with the Pismo. That's a blast and brew, but
Okay, so it's
but
not.
they took over the old Figueroa.
Yeah, I
And
saw
so
that.
we're excited
That's
that
gonna
they're
be
going in
exciting.
there.
Hell yeah.
But for
I know.
Italian food,
I
it's
say
Roses.
Roses is your
What do you
spot?
say?
Okay.
Roses, yeah.
Okay.
You like roses?
Rose is good.
I like roses.
Yeah, chicken parm all day.
Right?
That's my
You know,
go-to.
Mexican food is a toss-up for me around here. We love
Okay.
me and Z's. We like in the village.
Villa Cantina.
Villa
Cantina
Cantina.
Okay.
is good.
Yeah. What's your favorite Mexican?
My favorite Mexican?
Yeah.
I grew up on Taco de Mexico.
Oh.
And me and Kayla's first date, we actually went to the Taco de Mexico here in Grover. You know,
You're a
'cause-
big spender.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those
Yes.
things where she had actually, you know, what's sad? That was her first date ever too. She'd never been on a date, and I was like, I'm going out. I hit her up. I'm like, hey, I'm going to my little sister's basketball game in Oceano. I was like, do you want to come? And I didn't really. I was just like, do you want to come hang out? I didn't know it was her first date type thing like that.
Oh.
And she was like, yeah. So we went, and there's actually video of us on our first date with my dad
Oh,
recording.
that's so funny.
And then afterwards, we were like, she was like, I really want to go to Chacho's. And I was like, all right, cool. So we drove down to Chacho's. They were closed. And I'm like, I know a good Mexican restaurant. If you want Mexican food, I know a good Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And we went to Taco de Mexico. So I got to say, that's kind of my go-to strictly because it's kind of the
Yeah,
start of
they're
it.
sentimental.
And I think with Mexican food, it's one of those like, what am I looking for? You know,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
Chachos, their burritos are the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
I
The homemade tortillas.
The homemade,
Oh, they're so
I
good.
mean, I'm getting
So
hungry
good.
talking about
About
it.
it, right?
You know, and
We do like
I
food.
can thank Connie Harris for introducing me to Chachos.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yeah, you know, because Connie, he's up there with Ryan right now. I'm sure
really?
they're playing baseball, but
Yeah.
he introduced me to Chachos, and those burritos are something
They're so
else.
good.
I
mean,
love them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's a good-
Well,
that's
but
a
we're
good little
foodies.
segment.
We like
Yeah,
to
I
eat.
like
This,
food.
you know, if I stood up from behind this table, I could give you my side.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Me too. We
So-
love food.
The old
Yes, we
quarantine
do.
15.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, or 20.
Or 20, yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we kind of ask all of our guests this. Do you have any recommendations for us to have on the people to have on the podcast?
Ooh.
We talked about offline quite a few people that you've already had.
Yeah.
You got some great
It
guests.
depends on which avenue you guys want to go down.
Any avenue,
Any-
anybody who
yeah.
has a good
Yeah.
story. I'm trying to tell you, we have no avenues.
Okay, so have you what about Larry Lee?
We actually have interviewed
did
Larry Lee. We
Yeah.
got him,
Love
and we're
Larry
trying to
Lee.
get his son on here
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Brooks. Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Okay. That's Ryan loved Larry Lee. Ryan said he was going to take Larry Lee's job. That was his goal.
Ryan had his whole
He
life
had his
planned
whole
out.
life planned. So yeah.
Larry didn't know he was coming for his
Oh,
job.
I think
but,
Larry knows now, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not going to be upset about it.
You know, I don't have an answer for you
Yeah.
online,
That's fine.
but I'll definitely think about it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
You know, first of all, thank you guys for coming out here.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thank
Doing
you.
this, and sorry about the flies and
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you,
everything
it's
else.
not a thing.
It's not a thing, huh?
And I'm not gonna lie, this is really
This
cool.
is a
being
really
able to
great
be out there
setup.
and do this.
Well,
love
thank
it.
you.
Thank you for
And
being here.
and for your listeners and those that are watching, you know, if they feel inclined to support 17 Strong,
Yes.
Please do.
It's 17strong.org. You know, we rely on the donations of our supporters, and for those of you that do support us that are also listeners, thank you.
Yes.
You know, we have, donors that have purchased this van for us. You know,
Yeah.
Home Motors, Santa Maria, Rio Grande Chevrolet, huge supporters.
That's
That's
amazing.
right.
Industrial Truck Bodies out of Santa Maria. They
Yeah.
outfitted this whole van for us.
So cool.
You know, I could go on and on with the companies that have really stepped up that believe in what we're doing and,
Yeah.
and in Ryan's legacy. You know, construction companies out of Santa Maria, construction companies up here. So we
Yeah.
get a lot of support, but we need more to continue. We have a waiting list of 60 some people right now that are waiting to go. COVID hurt us
Right.
really bad
Yeah.
because we couldn't send anybody anywhere, and things have started to reopen and it's getting a little easier to travel, but now we need the money to send these people.
Right.
And we don't ever want to tell anybody no, but
That's
it takes
exactly
money.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so
Yes,
much for,
thank you.
for doing
Thank you
this
for
with
having
us.
us.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know it's probably not the easiest thing to do, but we appreciate you opening up to us and sharing Ryan's story. And I hope this helps, and I hope this kind of helps get you guys some
Yeah,
sponsors and all that.
absolutely.
And yeah, we
Thank
love
you.
having you guys on.
That's awesome.
Social media for you guys. You guys, I know you guys are on Instagram. right?
Instagram,
Talk to her. I
and,
don't do that.
Facebook, and yeah, we're always looking
Yeah.
for new followers,
Yeah.
and so definitely.
Instagram, Facebook, 17Strong. If you haven't already, which I don't know why, but follow us, our YouTube page, Garage Gang Podcast, our Instagram, Facebook, all Garage Gang Podcast. Give us a rate, give us a review. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. We had a great time with you guys.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Garage
Garage
Gang out.
Gang out.